The Link Lab situation has two updates, one of which kind of makes things better in my opinion, and the other one kind of makes things worse. Let's talk about both. Also, e.l.f. Cosmetics has been accused of stealing. And of course, let's also talk about the new makeup releases in the last couple of weeks. The one that happened relatively a while ago, however, I do love this brand, so I wanted to tell you about it, is the collaboration between Chupa Chups and Rude Cosmetics. And if you don't know, I really like Rude Cosmetics. I have a bunch of products from them. I even have a code with them, THEMIRRORBEAUTY, that you can use, I think, for this collection as well. And they just launched a bunch of stuff, as they do. It's an affordable makeup brand, and there are like lip balms, palettes, all is Chupa Chups themed, and I just think like overall it's cute. Mostly it's cute packaging, but also the colors are kind of okay as well in my opinion. AKA they're not too neutral, they have some color there. Also, we've been seeing a lot of pink releases. Apparently Juvia's place has released some face palettes. I think these are like the blush and contouring bronzing palettes. They have released liquid tints, which I'm guessing can go on your lips and on your cheeks, and they also have released the blushed bronzing stick in 4 shades. So yeah, like the palette is Bronzed Blurring Pro palette in the shades 1 and 2, I'm assuming for fairer and deeper skin tones. And in the continuation of the pink trend, ColourPop released an all pink palette with 2 liquid blushes and 2 Super Shock highlighters. So if you love pink, it's your week, but also if you love blue and pink and green and a little bit of purple, Nomad Cosmetics have released the Greek Odyssey collection. And this is a whole collection. This is not just the palette, which I think the palette is of course the star of the show. We'll just talk about it a little more in just a moment. But they have also released a balm, which I'm guessing can work as a blush and as a lip tint. And they have also released a highlighter, which is a bit of a duochrome. So about the Nomad Cosmetics palettes, as you might know, they always do themed releases themed by a destination. This time they made the destination the Greek Odyssey, like where it happens, so on the Greek islands. And this is such a Greek themed palette in my opinion. All those blues and kind of blur pearls and whites. And of course, you know, the yellow for some sandy beaches and the pink for Aphrodite, they included it. I really love the theme of this palette, and of course the Nomad embossments are always top-notch. They have shimmers here, they have mattes, everything that you might want. I think a couple of these shades are kind of duochroming. And by the way, with Nomad Cosmetics you can also use my code THEMIRRORBEAUTY to get a 10% discount. It's not affiliated, unlike Rude Cosmetics, so in this case I don't get anything, but you still get a 10% discount. And by the way, if you are going to buy the collection with the launch, like this time while they're launching, not with the restock, because they pretty much always restock, but it might be a little bit of a wait. If you buy it now, you also get this scarf as a gift if you buy the full collection, I think. Free gift with every purchase of the full Greek Odyssey collection. So if you buy just the palette, I'm assuming you don't get the scarf. I'm not sure if you can buy it separately, I don't think so. Another release that I think is very beautiful and is so spring themed is the collaboration between Shine by SD Cosmetics and Deandranicoleee. I'm hoping I pronounce her name right, because I've been following this girl and she makes great swatches and also great makeup looks. It would be a pity to butcher her name, but it might be the case, who knows. I hope the sound was okay with this mic, because it was kind of dangling there and hitting my clothes. Guys, if the sound was off, I'm so sorry. But anyway, this collection is pink and green, which I absolutely love, a pink and green combo. I'm thinking maybe it's even my second favorite, my first being purple and green. And this is so spring and summer, you know, imagine the pink flowers, there are lots of pink flowers, and the green leaves or grass. And of course it is all super sparkly and super shifty and just amazing in my opinion. Now the next palette is gonna be a little bit to the neutral side, but at the same time it's still colorful, so I included it. I would still wear it, like it's a little bit neutral feeling for me. But I feel like if you, on the contrary, wear neutrals, maybe it will be colorful but acceptable for you. But in any case, it has more colorful shimmers and a little bit more neutral mattes. It's What's Up Beauty Skyfire eyeshadow palette, which was inspired by the Northern Lights, from what I understand. And it has really very beautiful duochromes, sometimes multi-chromes, and colorful but neutralish, like muted mattes. So they're not very bright. The shimmers, on the other hand, are pretty intense. And from what I have heard, WhatsApp Beauty formula is not too emollient, so it should be good for oily lids, but I have not tried it myself, so I cannot tell you for sure. Another kind of colorful thing is the About Face Beauty highlighters, which actually resembles a lot of the Guerlain Meteorites, you know, the powder, like the Meteorites powder that they used to have, with there were like these little balls. You could twirl the brush and kind of grab all the colors, or you could aim a little brush at one, which is, I'm assuming, exactly what you can do here. I don't know how I feel about this one. I don't really like the bulky, like ball-like highlighter sticking out. I'm not sure that's convenient. Like, I'm not sure that was needed. At the same time, it's not like it's inconvenient to use, so I just don't know. What do you think of it? I'm not sure I like this. Meaning the way it is presented. But I'm not sure I hate it either. And Guerlain Meteorite is actually also being relaunched, but in a pressed form in Europe, which is, I don't know, maybe a fun coincidence that is all coming out in about the same time. Or maybe it's just a trend for, you know, those colorful powders. The next thing is the Half Magic Beauty collection inspired by Euphoria, and oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. The palette is super sparkly. Babes, I have seen the swatches. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. I have only tried one Half Magic eyeshadow, and yeah, like, it is really sparkly. It is really sparkly. I usually apply it with my finger, just on my lid, well, on a primer, and it sparkles like crazy. It isn't hollow, but at the same time it's very, very shiny, so I'm assuming this is what these eyeshadows are. They also have a liquid glitter to draw the glitter tears inspired by Euphoria. By the way, are you watching Euphoria? Let me know, because I didn't like the show. I've tried to watch it, but it just kind of seemed boring to me, even though I like many TV shows. But I absolutely love Euphoria makeup. I love the makeup that they do in this show, not the plot, however, sorry. Let me know what you think. So the eyeshadow palette, the Extra Plush Lip Gloss, Skin Illuminating Balm, Glitter Eye Paint that I have mentioned, plus liner, Pressed Fairy Dust for eyes, face and body, liquid eyeliner, oh, love that, oh my god, makeup correcting pen, and a reusable silicone guide, and face gems. Face gems is something that they often make. I think, however, you can get face gems for way cheaper, honestly. But of course, if you want like the full experience, why not? Also, remember last time we talked about Face Beauty, about face. You get what I mean? And there were some like mysterious launchings that they were teasing us with. So it turns out that this is a dual-ended eyeshadow stick, which I think is a fun product, although I personally cannot really use eyeshadow sticks as eyeshadow because I have oily lids and they usually don't last on me. Although in one of my last videos you commented that some of them can actually last on oily lids, and I would love to try. Maybe one day I will try them, but so far, like, this hasn't happened to me yet, and I'm just kind of indecisive, you know, spending my money on an eyeshadow stick instead of a pressed powder eyeshadow, for example, which has a much bigger chance of lasting. I'm not sure. But anyway, if you don't have this problem, or if you plan to use them elsewhere, like I could, for example, use them as eyeliners, or I could use them as lip liners, or as lip toppers. NYX Cosmetics has launched a new Fat Matte creamy lipstick, which I think is this, you know, clickable product, and there is a matte lipstick, which, I mean, this is a nice collection, but where did all the fun colors go? Where did all the fun colors go? Okay, I see like a relatively bright pink and a bright red. That's it. The other ones are shade of brown, like shade of nude. Even the orange one is not really orange. It's like a brownish orange. I mean, NYX was so well known for their fun colors, and I don't just mean the bright pink and the red, I mean the blue, the green, and right now on their website there is hardly anything. So I will be very much obliged to NYX if they launch this in fun colors too. Like, why not? Why not? And I understand that maybe there is less of a demand for a blue and green lipstick than there is for a nude, Well, like, why can't you just produce it in slightly smaller quantity? I don't know. Like, don't tell me there was no demand for this at all, because that's how NYX started. That's how they got so well known. That's how I discovered them, because I was searching for like lavender lipsticks and I found the NYX Macaron Lippies back in the day. What is this? Let's expand this collection a little bit. And also, the one thing I don't like about this marketing of this collection is the fact that they're saying that this lipstick is blurring. Cushion Soft blurred finish. And honestly, I'm telling you, I saw a video on YouTube of somebody swatching this lipstick. It was pretty close up. It's a regular lipstick, okay? It's a regular, matte, very nice, pigmented lipstick. And the person in the video was saying, oh my god, or it was written on the screen, I don't remember, oh my god, it blurred my lips. I was like, where? And the lipsticks, they don't blur anything, okay? They don't blur. Because the lipstick is matte, it might sometimes, depending on, you know, your settings and how far away you are from the lens, it might give an effect on camera that the lines are slightly blurred, because matte surface does not reflect light as well as a shiny surface, so your lips naturally are a little bit shiny. If you make them more matte on camera, especially if I'm at this distance, not super close up, not showing you my lips like I would normally show you in a lip art, it might seem a little bit blurred. But the person in the video that I saw, the video quality was fine, so it was not blurring. It's just a lipstick, and she was saying that it's such a blurred finish, and I commented, it's not blurred, it's a nice lipstick, it's a good swatch, I love it, but it doesn't blur anything. And she responded, it's blurring, trust. I was like, I trust my eyes and I can see that it didn't blur anything. And she called me rude. Was that rude? I don't know. Like, I was just being honest. I didn't call her names. I didn't comment negatively on her video or, goodness forbid, on her looks. I just said that the lipstick doesn't blur. People get so aggressive when somebody calls out the marketing claims. That's just weird. And I'm not sure if she's like working with NYX or not, but that was just weird in any case. Another launch I'm actually really excited about. I would love to try this, except it's really difficult for me to get hold of these One Size products. One Size is launching Oil Sucker Liquid Blotting Paper Spray. And if you don't know what a blotting paper is, that's like very, very thin paper that you can carry in your bag in a pack, and you can use them throughout the day when your skin produces excessive oils. And since I have like oily combo skin, so I'm oily in the T-zone and I have like normal skin on my cheeks, I use blotting paper and a spray that was just like suck in the oil. I'm guessing it is kind of a powder principle or something like that, but I would so love to try that. That would be so handy. Oh my goodness. I hope I do get to try One Size products one day, because they're so intriguing. Even though they're not colorful, they're more focusing on complexion products. But these complexion products look like they were made for oily to combo girlies like me. The next launch that I am really loving, I don't know if you guys are into nail polish or not, I very much am. Now, this what I have right here is just gel on my nails, but I like to paint over it. I'm actually gonna do this in a couple of days and create some nail art. And Holotaco, one of my favorite brands, they produce gorgeous holo nail polishes. They came up with the garden variety collection, and do you remember that I mentioned my favorite combo is green and purple? It's green and purple. It's green and purple. Oh my god. I love everything about this collection. Like, I would buy all these polishes in a heartbeat. But once again, I cannot buy them here, and it's kind of difficult to ship them here. So that is an obstacle. And also another obstacle is that my wallet doesn't always agree with my choices, which is rude. Like, that is what is rude. But let's move on, and Maybelline actually launched a concealer which is called Spot Rescue, and which apparently contains salicylic acid and vitamin C, which you apply on your acne breakouts and on your pimples when you want to wear your makeup and conceal them. So do not apply this concealer under your eyes, because salicylic acid is something that is drying your skin. But applying it on the breakouts, on acne spots, on pimples is actually a genius idea. Like, I have a spot right here now. Hopefully you cannot see it because I applied foundation over it. But I actually wouldn't mind that if it were also like being healed and dried by salicylic acid while I'm wearing all this makeup. I'm really hoping to get my hands on this one. Actually, I'm hoping to get it here, but I don't know when. The next thing I want to address when it comes to makeup releases is again from NYX, and this time I'm done. I'm out. Like, I don't even know what to tell you, because the problem is not the product. The problem is the mystery packaging. So they have launched how many? 7 balms, which I'm guessing are all pretty sheer, and there will actually be hardly a difference when you apply any of those on your lips. Like, the balm itself is the color of the packaging, but it will be sheer, okay? There will never be a difference that anybody can notice, like anybody at all. But that's even not the problem. Like, okay, you want to launch sheer balms? No problem. Like, a lot of people use them. I use sheer balms at home. And M&M's, like, I was excited at first. Oh, M&M's, I actually like M&M's, especially the ones with peanuts. Do you like M&M's? I was like, yeah, that's fun. That's actually fun. That's a super fun packaging. And then I saw the mystery. The gambling part, okay? No. And it's not just, you know, I'm some kind of person who is against people buying mystery boxes, but this just made me mad. Like, an established brand like NYX doing this, it's one thing if it's a Labubu. Although for me, it was also a reason I never bought any Labubu. Maybe I would have bought like a cute pink one or a purple one. Was there a purple one? I think there was. But paying for something that I don't know what's inside? Am I crazy or what? Like, do I look like I'm made of money? And so NYX, they want me to give them their money for a cat in the sack to buy I don't know what. And of course, this is made with intention, with the gambling intention that people will want to buy more and more until they collect all the shades. And NYX is mentioning that one shade is rare. So apparently it's not so easy to get it. That is just so sneaky and so, that just put me off. It left such a bad taste in my mouth because, I mean, let's say you love sheer lip balms. Maybe you apply these NYX lip balms at home all the time, right? And they're coming out with an M&M's collection and you're like, oh, that's cute. I'm gonna get all the 7, right? So the maximum you're gonna get if you love this collection is 7, right? If it's not a mystery box. If it's just sold in a store or on a website, I'm gonna get all the 7. So the maximum amount of money you spend is the money for 7 lip glosses. But if you're gambling and if you're trying to find your shade, you can buy 20, 30, 50, 100 of those before you get them all. Do I need to say more? That's an awful release. Absolutely awful in my opinion. Speaking of awful, let's talk a little bit about Leaked Labs and the 2 updates that occurred in the meantime. Let's start with the bad news first, and that is that a girl whose name is Your Cosmetic Chemist on TikTok has done a thorough test of the Leaked Lab Flexi powders, their eyeshadows, that were previously used and sanitized once by a makeup artist.
So this is how these arrived to me. Were sanitized only once, and they're really, as you could see, they disintegrated, they ripped.
And she did a few tests on them in an incubator that was set to 40 degrees Celsius. I have no idea how much in Fahrenheit this is, but this is like, I'm guessing like a hot day in Florida or something like that. It's the temperature that we don't get here, but you do get it in hot climates.
Now, are these tests formal PET testing? No, that is not my job. That is not what I do. That is not my specialty. I do research and development. That's my job. I stability test for changes in product, and of course, I run either these or a GAR plate testing.
The products that she's developing are passing these tests. So basically all I'm saying is that She might not be the person who does it every day for her job, but she knows how to do it. Apparently what we see in those eyeshadows, especially in one of them, is that it grew something within like 2 days of being in a 40-degree temperature. So basically, if you leave these eyeshadows in a hot day in your car, like even here where we don't get these temperatures, but inside the car the air gets hotter, right? If it's out in the sun, they might, you know, grow these things.
This is one side, which there's a slight color difference, but not much there. This is where we got some action. So the gold, clearly there's some issues with. Now, aside from that, the product melted.
And since there is no way of sanitizing these eyeshadows, as we have learned, because a makeup artist tried to sanitize them and they just all kind of melted, this is not really good news. But I mean, it's not a surprise, right? If you're using the product, you're picking it up with your hands, you're like rubbing it against your skin, and there is no way to sanitize it after, like what else would we expect? But this is just proof that this is what is happening. So this is what might happen to your flexi powder eyeshadow if you own one. So do be careful. I have no idea if this reaction shows something that is really like super dangerous or something that is mildly dangerous and maybe like most people's eyes and skin won't really react to it. But in any case, it's definitely not sanitary. However, the other update that we have from the Lipstick Lesbians and from the leaked labs, let's watch this video together, and I have some thoughts about it. I will tell you and you tell me yours, okay?
There's been crickets on the leaked labs account. A lot of you are probably wondering why. Christine and I and the team intentionally decided to pause. The first launch sparked so much conversation. We wanted to intentionally pause.
Intentionally. They wanted to intentionally pause, guys, when what they told us in their last video, sitting in the airport in gray hoodie and an olive jacket, I think, was that they simply could not react to the feedback because they were so busy going to meet the manufacturers and going to Cosmoprof and all that stuff, and that they just didn't have time for that. But apparently now that was intentional. Okay.
Customer feedback and what the internet thought. We are listening, and we have been making those changes the last few weeks behind the scenes already. We took this very seriously. Leaked Labs exists to serve the beauty.
Okay, that's good. You've been making changes behind the scenes. I like that.
Serve the beauty community. And that's exactly what we're gonna do over the next few weeks as we reintroduce Leaked. What's next? The show must go on. So will our docuseries. So will our product development.
The docuseries, oh my god. No one is asking about the docuseries, okay? That's not what people are worried about. Just had to put this out there. If you're finding this video useful so far, please give it a little like or a hype, which is a new YouTube feature. Thank you.
So will our product development. Something that might have been missed in our silence the last few weeks is actually how excited we are to bring you the next leak. We did push out the launch, and we are adjusting some of the elements of that launch, and you're gonna see those changes roll out in the next few weeks. There's always been a plan for me to product develop within this business. It just didn't happen with the first leak.
It wasn't actually in the plan from what they were saying in the first interviews. I'm not, making this up, and I'm not saying if it wasn't in the first leak, it was never the plan. I'm just saying that they were saying in the interviews before they launched the leaked labs that they planned taking those products from the manufacturers, sharing them with people because no one wanted them, and they will show them to the customer. I wonder why no one wanted them. I wonder why no one wanted the flexi powder. Why was that? But okay, so if that was the plan, they never told us. I cannot get inside their head. Maybe that was the plan?
That was what we call a discovery. To be clearer, there will be two types of leaks that happen in the leaked business model. Products that are discovered, like Amplify Flexi, and products that are developed, created, like our next leak. We created a docuseries so we could be more transparent and bring you into the leaks. And we want to do that. We needed this reset before we could do so. This is my favorite part that I'm most excited for, allowing our community to experience the leaks even before they necessarily hit the market. So who is this beauty community that we're so excited to serve that we keep talking about? You care about texture, sensation, and being the first to experience beauty early.
I care about texture, sensation. I don't care about being the first to experience beauty early unless you pay me to be in the focus group. Then I will care, okay? Otherwise, no. Please give me the ready product because I care about the texture and sensation.
Early, that's exactly who we built this for. The last thing we would want is for anyone not to have a good experience with our first leak. So we completely understand this was a very conceptual format. If you did not have a good experience with Amplify Flexi Powder and you want a refund, you can do so on our website, or you can reach out at hello@leaklabs.com. We're gonna make it right. This has always been about
Okay, so this is the important part and that everyone has been talking about. Let's just finish this video because it's like a couple more seconds.
Sharing our love and joy for beauty, and that hasn't changed. And we're here to serve the beauty community. I just can't wait for you to get the next leak.
All right, so let's talk about it. My thoughts on this matter are a little bit different from what I've heard from other people commenting on this, because I think this is a step in the right direction. It doesn't mean that the next steps will be in the right direction and that they are gonna make everything cool and dandy. But I think it is a step in the right direction that they publicly announced that they are doing refunds and you can get a refund. Before, we knew we could kind of get a refund because Britt Clark did a video about that and explained how she got a refund, but not a lot of people knew about that. However, if they post this on their official account, basically everyone who bought the leaked labs and especially who's kind of unhappy about the product, will see and hear that, and they might request a refund. Some people are saying, well, it's just damage control at this point because they know they messed up, so it's damage control. It might be, however, if you are trying to make things right and make your brand better, like if you genuinely want to do that, right, you would also have to first do damage control. So at this point in history, everyone is just mad at them, like no matter what they say. And don't take me wrong, I don't like the way they launched the product. And I think the most important thing that they should do is stop treating customers as a focus group, because they should pay the focus group instead of charging money for the privilege to be in a focus group. Okay, that's the most important thing I feel like they should change. That will be the most important step as far as I'm concerned. The next one's, of course, like the quality of the product and the fact that it should actually be ready after they have paid the focus group. Which, like, the irony of this is, had they paid the focus group from the start, they would not have ended up in this messed up situation, because the focus group would just have told them, like, no, this is not gonna fly. However, the first step is making their customers who are mad a little bit happier and a little bit less mad. So what they're doing is that they're offering refunds, which I think is a good thing. Yes, they might be doing it to save face, they might be doing it to save their reputation, but think about it this way. If they genuinely are sorry about what they did, what would their step be? Well, exactly this, right? So I'm just saying, we don't know if they're just doing it for some selfish reasons, or if they're doing it for genuine reasons. So let's just give it some time and see how things go, what the next leak is gonna be. Because this one, like this product launch, was awful. It was absolutely awful. However, as I have mentioned before, it doesn't mean that the brand cannot learn from their mistakes and become better, and I don't wish them failure. I hope they become a good brand, because that would benefit all of us. That would benefit them, but also it would benefit the customers. However, the most important thing that I feel should change is their approach to the focus group. And our next story is e.l.f. Cosmetics was actually accused of stealing. Can you imagine that? I guess you can. After the scandals they have been in during this last year, or was it like a little over a year? I mean, e.l.f. used to be such an unproblematic brand. They were always like saying the right things and doing the right things. But recently they've just found themselves in so many scandals. But this one I think is really pretty bad, because it's not just about, you know, somebody's views on who they're filming in a commercial, which was also kind of not good. But there you could argue, you know, like maybe some people didn't know who that guy was in the commercial. Like I didn't know before that exploded on the internet. But this time it seems like they stole an idea from a creator. Let's hear her speak about it.
Elf Cosmetics stole my likeness and stole my brand. Face card never declines. Watch this and then I'm gonna drop the receipts, y'all. It's a mess.
I'll take all of this. Cash or card? Face card.
That's the Elf commercial we're seeing first. This creator claims that they stole her idea for this commercial. I'm gonna go into a couple details in a moment.
Face card. Full brightness.
Oh, I'm gonna be paying with face card.
And now this is this creator's video.
Reach. Wait, get my good side. And my other good side.
Low-key, her face card's insane.
Reach. But still the same bitch. Bar for bar, stole my content. Not an original idea in sight. This is my brand, my likeness, and my IP. Yet alone, I have my own cosmetic line to promote. How am I supposed to do that when these brands are attaching their products to my brand? It's on their website.
You might be asking yourself, is this true? And I personally always give anybody who's accused of anything the benefit of the doubt. And once again, if you find more information about this, you feel like what I'm saying is wrong, do let me know. I will be the first to come up and correct this, because sometimes it happens that, you know, brands or people are falsely accused of something. So we should definitely always like hear them out, or sometimes there was like maybe a reason for them misbehaving or something. But here I checked the timeline. I found a video from this creator where she's like paying with her face card, and the first comment on this video was 119 weeks ago. That is over 2 years. 1 year is 52 weeks, so it makes it 2 years and 15 weeks ago, the first comment on this video. So that was how far in the past that video was posted on the gram. And then the first mention that I could find of the Elf's commercial was on October 15th of 2025. And there were some articles on the 16th of October, which basically all were saying like we're talking about it like it's a recent commercial, it has just come out. So it came out like in the first half of October of 2025, as opposed to like more than 2 years in the past, which would make it like the very, very beginning of 2024. So clearly she is telling the truth here that her video and her idea definitely came first. Could Elf in theory have come up independently with this idea? Maybe. It is quite an original idea, but on the other hand, I can see like you're paying with cash or card and you put makeup on your face. So an idea of face card could have come into mind, once again, giving the benefit of the doubt. You know, like the light bulb, for example, was invented independently by more than one person. However, imagine you work for Elf Cosmetics in the marketing department, and you are like the marketing director or something, and you are choosing some ideas for your commercial, which you have plenty of because you have lots of people working there, you know, you have lots of resources, and you're like, okay, these 3 ideas are the top, they're the best, let's do one of them. The first thing you're gonna do, or ask one of your employees to do, is to search on Google and on social media like the gram, TikTok, and so on, if there is something that is already called face card, right? So that you don't look stupid, so that you're not accused of stealing. And you would find this creator pretty much immediately.
And this is just a snippet of the face card videos I have done over time. My lawyer even emailed them so that we can settle this offline. We sent them a cease and desist and they have not responded.
Now, this is the important part, and I will just go to the end of the video.
Elf Cosmetics just reached out to my lawyer and said they are doing absolutely nothing to resolve this. So how is that okay?
I have no words. They are doing absolutely nothing. Like no compensation, no recognizing the original creator's inspiration. They could post the commercial one more time, this time referring to the original creator, they could have compensated her like they could have done something. And I'm not encouraging anybody to cancel a brand because I'm against cancel cultures. I have made a video about it. I'm just saying that for me personally, I don't think I will be buying something from e.l.f. Cosmetics unless the situation somehow changes. Editing Julia here, you will have to excuse me. I'm a little bit sick, but I found a very important piece of information which basically changes everything, kind of. Let's watch. Did you catch that? It says e.l.f. In her video, it says e.l.f. skin when she's scanning her face card, and it also says e.l.f. partner not in the corner, but well, with little letters, and in the bottom it says paid partnership. So this creator was paid by e.l.f. to make a video using her face card idea. Now, does it mean that e.l.f. is innocent and she's lying? Not necessarily. I don't know if e.l.f. had the right to use her idea without her. So maybe she just posted an ad and thought that e.l.f. had no right to use it outside of that video in their own campaign. But also maybe she misunderstood something. They actually had the right to use it. At this point, we would just need to see the contract and read it word for word to understand, because it's not so black and white anymore, is it? And that's why I'm saying that cancel culture is never a good idea, because sometimes things pop up that you didn't expect, which once again, I'm not saying that she's necessarily lying, but I'm just saying that somebody is misunderstanding something. Either she is or e.l.f. is. Maybe e.l.f. took advantage of her and used her content where they shouldn't have used it, but also maybe they could actually use it. I don't know if we will have a development in the story. If we do, I will keep you updated. And if you want to hear more makeup controversies, you're welcome to see this playlist right here. And of course, share your opinions in the comments. See you later. Bye.